Issue number 10, multiple attempts to contact the inspector, Mr. Cochran, and the supervisor, Mr. Giannini, were made starting on day 3 of the demolition for assistance and completely ignored. We were contacted by Mr. Cochran 3 days after the demolition was done. It was reported that attempts were made to contact the complainant within 24 hours of the original call. This complies with the LADBS's phone policy. However, contact was made finally on the 3rd day. Issue number 11, DBS has the power and authority and responsibility to ensure dust emissions are controlled per section 108.13. It's true, when dust emissions are witnessed by the department is able to stop them and to ensure that they exercise water practices to knock that dust down. In this case, when the calls were made, dust only hangs out in the air for so long, so there probably was a dust issue, but by the time we can get out there and see it, it's probably subsided. Issue 12, additional pre-inspection requirement 107.3.2, pre-inspection fees. The department shall collect a fee of $121 from each of the following: demolition pre-inspection. Demolition pre-inspection fee was paid on February 2nd. You can see in the box there of $121. Issue 13, a developer never acquired a grading permit, which against LAMC 106.2, the project does not qualify for any exemption within this code. Actually, the code, section 106.1.2, exception 4, grants an exception for buildings that are not located in the hillside area. They don't need to obtain a grading permit if those excavations are for their footings. And that was the case for this permit. Initial attempts to get information on plans for the development were denied by the plan check office. We were told that plans were not available. By denying that plans were not available, the plan check department was in violation of section 106.4.2.1 that states we have the right to review plans. The code section actually states the duplicate plans and specifications of every building or structure shall be stamped and retained by the department during the life of such building. It doesn't necessarily give somebody the right to view them. We do have the right to, but it's not this code section. We have a process. When we keep plans, we send them out to microfilm. So at the time the applicant came in, it was in the process of those plans being sent out and being microfilmed. And we were asked to come back to view those when they were available. Item 15, we asked specifically if there was an appeal process, and this was not disclosed to us until after weeks of correspondence with Plan Check Office. This was in violation of our right to appeal, set forth in 104.2. LADBS staff did explain the appeal process on multiple occasions. They had an opportunity to speak with Plan Check supervisors in the Van Nuys office that were working on this, as well as being able to see email correspondence between the office manager and one of the appellants. Issue 16, in addition, the developer has not provided stamped plans on the job, which are required by LAMC section 106.3.2.6. LADBS inspection staff has confirmed that stamped plans were maintained on the project site, and they were available to be viewed whenever they needed. Issue 17, per LAMC section 107.3.1.8. No additional plan check fees are to be collected unless plans are revised for other reasons than plan check and require additional plan check time to review the plan revisions. The code actually reads no additional plan check fees to be charged for verification of plan check corrections required by the department or other departments. But however, when plans are revised, we can collect an additional fee. I believe the appellants are going to bring up a situation where the original building permit was submitted with a low valuation, and it was increased from, I think, 502,000 to 507,000. I think they believe that the plans were changed. It's the department's contention that it was just a low valuation, and the valuation was increased an additional $5,000. Issue 18, the home is overbuilt, and we have been promised an inspection and measurement of height and confirmation that the square footage of the structure does not deviate from the plans of the development. This was promised by officials in planning and development through council member Mr. Cordorian's office, and as well as Mayor Garcetti's office, and this has not been done yet. Through communication with inspection, the height of the building was verified during the topping out of the building. Inspection was able to verify the appropriate size of the permitted building from the permit and with the use of a survey and the setbacks from the approved set of plans. We have inspection staff here if you have questions for them later in the discussion section. Issue 19, in addition to multiple LAMC, LEBC, and federal law violations, the developer has repeatedly engaged in off-hour work. Multiple complaints have been made to LAPD noise enforcement, and DBS employees. The developer has received only one citation, and the activities continues. The police department is responsible for the noise enforcement. It's not something that building and safety enforces. However, our staff is happy to pass this information along to complainants if they need it. Issue 20, a fence was placed illegally on our property without notification from March 2015 to November 8th, 2015. Trespassing on our property and preventing us from getting to the side of our property. Complaints to DBS and police were made and nothing was done. Trespassing issues is a dispute, civil dispute between the two owners. It's a civil matter that is not handled by building and safety. If desired, the applicant can pursue this in legal actions in court. Issue 21, damage has been done to the side of our home facing the project. Our landscaping and our sprinkler lines have been crushed and is unusable. Property damage, as well as a civil issue between two parties, needs to be handled legally. Okay, the last three issues here, the following issues were submitted with the appellant's appeal package to the Board of Building and Safety, and they're related to Chapter 1 of the LAMC and other land use ordinances. And as a result, these issues are not part of your purview. If desired, the applicant should appeal these to the Director of Planning through their appeal process. We also argue that in addition to LADBS having responsibility to enforce the code, the city attorney, as well as the city, has the power and responsibility to enforce the code for LAMC 11 11.00L and 11.00 subsection M. Issue 23 to developer. Development is oversized as it pertains to the interim control ordinance, ICO 2443, the baseline dimensionalization ordinance, and Valley Village specific plan, and is not exempt from the ICO. And finally, the development is in violation of SEQA. So in conclusion, LABPS properly complied with the department's rules, regulations, as well as the requirements of the LABC during the plan check process and after the permit was issued. As a result, the Department of Building and Safety did not err nor abuse its discretion when issuing the permits, and further, did not err and abuse its discretion by not stopping work and by not revoking each of these permits. So the board's action is to determine if the Department of Building and Safety erred and abused its discretion in issuing these two permits and by not stopping illegal and unsafe work and by not revoking each permit based on violations of the LABC. This concludes staff presentation for board file 150016. Mr. President.
Thank you. Is that fellow to you, please?
Yes.